I'm in love! I'm in love! Yippee! Is he new? I do my own stuff! So, welcome to the third inaugural episode of the Cruising Altitude podcast, the only Tom Cruise podcast on the internet. I've checked, kind of. We're the best one, if at least. Last episode, we forgot to introduce ourselves.
Oh, we did?
Yeah. So, I am your first co-host. You may know me as Smokey, or Blake, whichever you like. And this is my other co-host, Saul.
Yeah.
This month, I should say, we watched the 1983 film, The Outsiders.
The Outsiders. Ponyboy. Dallas. Johnny. Cherry. Soda Pop. Daryl. 2-Bit. Steve. Bob. S.E. Hetton's classic novel comes to the screen, capturing all the intensity, all the excitement, all the emotions of youth. The Outsiders, directed by Francis Coppola.
Woo! Yay, you watched it twice.
Yeah.
Literally minutes ago, we finished it. You can check out that video somewhere. That's the introductions and everything. Let's get right into the the fan favorite Tom Cruise 4 fun facts. Are you ready for these?
Yep.
Did you know that Tom Cruise was a wrestler in high school?
I did not.
I feel like after seeing The Outsiders, you can kind of see that, especially when he chucks that guy over his head.
Yeah.
Here's another fun fact. He got a divorce with all 3 of his wives, Mimi Rogers, Nicole Kidman, and Katie Holmes, when they were all 33 years old.
That's actually really suspicious.
Here's something I did not know. Are you familiar with the Disney film Aladdin? Soon to be remade with William Smith.
God.
What'd you think of that? What'd you think of that fat blue Will Smith?
Jesus. You would think they would, spend more on CGI.
Maybe they have. Maybe it's unfinished. But it didn't look like it.
I hope it's not finished.
Tom Cruise was the inspiration for Aladdin.
What?
Yeah. He was originally it was going to be, what's that guy from what's his name? Back to the Future guy with Parkinson's. Teen Wolf.
Oh.
Whatever. I can't think of his name right now. I'm blanking. But it was originally going to be him, but then the animators or character designers were like, "Yeah, whatever, let's not do that." And they based it off of Aladdin, which you can kind of see with his giant mouth and teeth, and I guess his nose, but other than that, the photos I looked at, it was kind of hard to tell.
Mm-hmm. So they based off the genie after him?
No, Aladdin the person.
Oh.
Like the guy with the big baggy pants.
I don't see it.
Yeah. I'm very suspicious of that fact.
Mm-hmm.
I got most of these from IMDb. 4, his huge fans call themselves cruisers.
Yep, that's true.
That's what we call ourselves here at the Tom Cruise official fan club headquarters.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Mount Rushmore, but it's all Tom Cruise. We have an office inside his head, inside his tooth. That's all my fun facts for Tom Cruise, so let's go into the outsider facts. I'm going to take a drink. Not going to edit this part out. You can talk and vamp if you want to talk to the audience.
How's the weather over there? Comment in the video below.
So, here's the tagline for The Outsiders. They grew up on the outside of society. Mm-hmm. They weren't looking for a fight. They were looking to belong.
Oh.
That's a lie. They were looking for a fight. Especially Tom Cruise. He's always ready for a rumble. It was directed by Francis Ford Coppola and stars Patrick Swayze, Matt Dillon, who was Dallas, Emilio Estevez, who was our favorite boy, 2-Bit, Rob Lowe, famous sex tape actor. And C. Thomas Howell, who I think actually was Dallas. I'm not sure. I can't remember who was who. Ralph Macchio. Tom Waits. Do you know who that is? He's a singer-songwriter with like a really gravelly voice.
Who was he?
I don't know. But I know he was in. I think he was a Soch.
Oh. I was going to say, was he the cop?
Oh, maybe. And, of course, Tom Cruise. I mean, of course Tom Cruise is going to be in this. Why would we watch a movie that doesn't have Tom Cruise?
Exactly.
I've never seen a movie that hasn't had Tom Cruise in it. It's based off the novel. Mm-hmm. It's based off the novel by C.E. Hinton, who was a woman.
Oh. Just kidding.
No, you're not. From 1967, which is the third time Tom Cruise has starred in a... You don't look at my notes.
Oh, sorry.
Quit cheating.
It's okay, I can't read them.
Oh, it's right, you can't read.
No, you just have shitty handwriting.
Wow, okay. Hey, I invited you over to this giant papier-mâché Tom Cruise head that we record this podcast in.
No, it's okay. It's okay, mine's worse.
But this is the third time that he's appeared in a film based on a novel. All of the past 3 films have been based on novels.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Endless Love.
Yeah.
I don't know where I was going with that.
It was based off a novel. Maybe it's like a trend in the 80s. They just like... They wouldn't have like movie ideas, so they just went to books.
It had a $10 million budget, which is pretty good for 1983. Made $33.7 million in the box office. So that is a hit, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
They've done it. Congratulations, Mr. Coppola.
Who?
F.F. Coppola, who created a director's cut of the film when his granddaughter's class read the book and prepared to watch it in class.
Mr. Coachella, yeah.
Yeah, Francis Ford Coachella. He was embarrassed by the fact because apparently a lot of people hated this movie when it came out because I guess it's nothing like the book. I don't know. We've both read the book at least more than a decade ago. Have you read it? What did you? I can't remember.
No, the other class. Read
Oh,
it.
that's right.
I got to read The Grapes of Wrath.
Nice. I bet that was a hoot. No.
But
you think we could?
I want to say it like in the play at the school there was someone in a wheelchair, so maybe
what are
who
you trying to say?
survived. Like I don't.
No, that was just a kid in a wheelchair, Saul.
Oh no.
Do you think we could start a petition for a Grapes of Wrath modern day movie starring Tom Cruise? Sign up on our petition.org.
I mean, there's a scene where someone suckles on the lady's teat.
Oh, nice.
A grown man, so
nice. Sounds like Tom Cruise.
or an old man.
Allegedly. Coppola wanted tension between the Socs, or the Soches, and the Greasers, so he had the Soch actors be given leather-bound scripts with luxury accommodations at a local hotel, while the Greasers were given shitty paperback scripts and had to stay on the ground floor of the hotel.
Oh,
Still
no.
a fancy hotel.
What a tragedy.
No, now you have to look at traffic from your window. Coachella wanted Matt Dillon to spend the night in jail to better understand his character. Dillon refused, saying, "No way, Francis. How about you go spend a night in jail?"
That sounds so scripted.
He was really, that Coppola guy, he was really into this film, making it authentic. He was making people stay in luxury hotel ground floors, giving them paper scripts that aren't even bound in leather. Can you imagine not getting a leather-bound script?
I just thought of
God,
something.
how disgusting.
What if Tom didn't want to stay at that hotel,
That's
so
what I
he
was
stayed
thinking.
so he wanted to stay at another hotel, like in Taps.
Yeah, call back to our Taps episode. Go listen to that. In the fight scene, the first punch on Ponyboy was real. And C. Thomas Howell got knocked unconscious.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, so C. Thomas Howell played Ponyboy. There you go. Rob Liefeld turned Rob Liefeld.
He was a character designer for this movie.
That's why we never saw anyone's feet. Rob Lowe turned 18 during the filming, and according to Lowe, the other boys played pranks on him all day. Can you imagine what these pranks were?
Who was Rob Lowe?
He was the other brother that liked to cook.
Soda Pop?
Mm-hmm.
What was the pranks?
Well, listen to this. They saran wrapped his toilet seat.
Okay.
And filled his hotel room with
Soda.
close fire extinguisher foam.
Those are like minor inconveniences.
That's pretty fucked up for the hotel.
Yeah, that too.
Apparently I was reading they were so terrible and rowdy at that hotel that years later someone from the hotel met Tom Cruise and was like, yeah, I worked there when you were being assholes. And Tom Cruise was like, oh, I'm sorry. And that's the end of that anecdote.
He's like, yeah, whatever. Get me a towel.
Don't look at me. Let's see. Final fun fact. Tom Cruise and Patrick Swayze did their own gymnastic stunts. You remember when Tom Cruise jumped off that car backwards twice? That was him. Remember when Patrick Swayze did that cool, like, gymnast thing over the fence? That was him.
That was hot.
Remember when Patrick Swayze slapped Tom Cruise's ass when he backflipped off the hood? That was both of them.
I swear, that first time he did it, there's no way he didn't hit his head.
That's why his teeth are so fucked up. That's all the notes I have for that. You want to go into the discussion?
Sure. Wait, wasn't there... There's no Tom Cruise news section?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
That's at the end.
Oh, right.
Wow, you don't even know the layout of your own show? Do you want to get us rolling in the discussion so I can drink some water?
Sure. All right, so the movie opens with Ponyboy coming out of a movie, ironically, when he gets chased by these Socs? Socks.
They're living socks.
Preppy boys. So it's like if you ever played Bully, it's those greasers and then like the preps. Yeah, it's basically like that.
Yeah, it is. And we should mention that everyone in this town has very weak knees and cannot run.
Yeah.
So what happens? So Ponyboy, our protagonist, main character, person. He, like, I don't know, why are they doing that to him? I guess there's something that happened before this movie. They're establishing that this is a lived-in universe. I love that kind of world building in my strange American town, not really sure what year it is world. So he gets chased by these Socs, not very well again, and he nearly gets run over.
Twice.
Yeah, twice. And then he just gets his ass kicked.
Yeah. They pull a knife on him, too.
Oh, that's right. They cut his throat. And then it's infected for the rest of the film.
Yeah, it looks kind of gross.
Oh, it's definitely great. Oh, God. He just so happens that they decided to kick his ass right where everybody else was, all the other greasers. So the greasers, led by Patrick Swayze and Tom Cruise, race over and fight him. And then they scare the Socs away. What do you have to say? What comes next?
Some dude throws it like a big-ass branch at the car.
Yeah, they're just throwing rocks and shit at the cars and it drives away. One guy closes the door. And then they drive away and Tom Cruise does some backflips.
Yeah, I forget what happens like before the whole fountain incident.
I think it's just...
Oh, yeah, they go to the movies, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right. There's the drive-in scene, the infamous curtains match the drapes drive-in scene.
Yeah, so...
We're introduced to Dallas, one of the tertiary protagonists, if you will, who, along with Johnny and Ponyboy, they sneak into a drive-in because they're dirty greasers who don't got no money. And what is the film they watch? Beach Breakfast Bingo or something like that with skydivers.
Beach Blanket Bingo.
There you go. That's what it is.
Which doesn't make any more sense.
No. It's just like, okay, what can I see in my in my near, like, what am I near that I can see? There's a beach. Here's a blanket on my lap.
And these dudes are playing bingo. It's like that one scene in Family Guy.
Yeah.
Where it's like, what's your name?
Griffin. Peter Griffin. Ah, crap. But we're introduced to... Now that I think about it, Cherry really doesn't have anything to do in this movie.
No.
No, she doesn't.
She's just the pretty girl.
Mm-hmm. Which she is, but Diane Lane, played by Diane Lane. We meet Cherry, real name Sherry.
Oh, how creative.
Yeah, it's because she's redheaded.
Mm-hmm.
Get it?
What's her friend's name? Marsha?
Marsha. I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, she
says-
shows up even less.
Oh yeah, she only has like maybe one
Two
scene.
Two, like that one,
And then when they're leaving.
Yeah, and that's it.
And I didn't notice her in that scene when they were leaving. I
Mm.
feel like she was like off camera. They couldn't afford to pay her. She like quit. Ponyboy Dallas, who is a scumbag.
Yeah.
A lot of these greasers aren't very good guys. Not all of them are good old Patrick Swayze, just wanting to help his brothers live a good life.
After the brutal train-related death of their parents.
A horrible, horrible train crash that eviscerated their parents in a car.
Well, you get copyrighted if you clip that scene.
I'm gonna do it.
Just bring it, play it every time it's brought up.
I don't even remember when that happens in the film.
It first happens when Ponyboy's like sleeping in the
Oh,
truck.
that's right. He has flashbacks. Somehow,
For
it's
some reason
not really
it's
explained
triggered.
how he saw it,
Mm-mm.
or like maybe it's like what he thought happened.
Yeah.
But in reality, they were actually killed by a steamroller that ran them over and flattened them like pancakes, like in Roger Rabbit.
That's why he only makes eggs now. No more pancakes.
Anyway, they're at the drive-in watching a crappy movie, and Dallas is sexually harassing two women, or two girls, and he asks the redhead, Sherry, if the carpets match the drapes, and she's like, get away from me before I fall in love with you. And he just fucks off. I guess.
Yeah.
He goes to like the drink stand or something. And then Cherry and Marcia, I was about to say Veronica for some reason, they start flirting with Ponyboy and Johnny. How do I keep forgetting their
I do
names?
too.
There's just so many of them to keep track of, man. So they've... Oh, God, now that I think about it, they really just do not have anything to do in that movie. You could have cut out probably the entire drive-in scene, and the movie would have been the same.
Yeah.
Like, they go to a drive-in, they sneak under the fence, they walk around, smash cut to them leaving the drive-in, I guess. I guess Johnny wouldn't kill anybody, because the whole crux of this movie is that Sherry is one of the Sosha's girlfriends.
Yeah. X is...
Is it? Is she ex? I thought she just left him because they're fucking alcoholics.
Yeah, that too.
The Soshas are 20 to 30-year-old men who harass teenagers and
Pretend to be high schoolers.
Yeah. They pretend to be high schoolers so that they get the discount at the Chick-fil-A across the street.
Like in Taps, where those guys that were like poking fun at the people coming in, they looked like 30.
Hey, it was the 80s. They hadn't figured out how to cast younger people yet. The Soshas drive up and they're all drunk and they're like, Sherry, where are you going with those greasers? How dare you? What happens? What is the confrontation?
She doesn't want to go with them, and then they start, I guess, about to fight. Because, what's his name? Twinbit?
Twinbit? Two-bit?
Two-bit, Twinbit. Two-bit pulls out a knife. Oh, wait, no. First, he breaks a bottle.
Was it Two-bit? I thought it was, or was it Dallas?
No, because Dallas went somewhere else.
Oh, that's right.
So Two-bit.
He breaks a glass bottle over a chain link fence and it smashes.
He's he has all his points into strength. That's why he's not very smart.
Strength and Mickey Mouse impersonations.
Don't do it. We'll get copyrighted for sure. Disney does not fuck around.
They don't. They're a monster. They're a giant corporation monster.
Mm-hmm.
Allegedly. You have to say allegedly or else we're in law. They'll come after us for the full extent of the law.
Mm-hmm.
They were fighting, or they were getting ready to fight.
Yeah, but then Cherry is like, no, I hate fighting. Please stop. I'll go with them.
Bye.
Bye.
I'll see you near the end of the movie.
Yeah.
What? Okay, so the Soch has that ring, right?
Mm-hmm. He's the one that kicked the shit out of Johnny.
When does that ring come into play? I don't.
Never?
I could have sworn it did. Maybe I'm thinking of Ace Ventura, where he gets a guy to punch with a ring to punch him to prove that it was him.
Oh yeah.
You can see how I got these two films confused.
Yeah, it really doesn't. All it's like about is that that's how Johnny knows that that's the guy that beat him up, because he has that ring, and that's how he got the scar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. I was like, where did that scar come from?
Mm-hmm. He just got beat up.
Mm-hmm. Got his ass kicked.
Mm-hmm.
So after the near confrontation, they head home, and Johnny is like, I don't want to go home because my parents are fighting 24/7 again. They won't let me in the house. They've locked themselves in for the past 14 years. I'm 15, by the way. So I almost forgot an important thing. 2-Bit finds that hat on the ground.
Oh yeah.
He's like, sweet, a hat. Never say that again. That'd be funny if you just wore it for the rest of the film.
Like, take that thing off, man.
No, I found it. I look cool. It goes well with my Mickey Mouse shirts. But Johnny and 2-Bit, they go to the nearby lot.
Yes.
Which is where the greasers and homeless people hang out, and there's like a big bonfire and like a car seat that you can. Oh god! Oh
it's
god!
It's also like 10 feet away from their houses.
Yeah, it's just like a park in the middle of a suburb, basically, that they go sleep in. Imagine how disgusting that chair is.
Yeah. Is it even the chair? It looks like it looks like the seat of a car.
Yeah, they just ripped a seat of a car out.
Mm.
Ugh. Just all the... imagine a black light.
Good thing those weren't invented yet.
Oh, imagine their hair with a black light. Jeez. That's why the grease.
It's not grease.
We're called the Cummers.
Oh my god.
But they go spend the night together because they're outsiders and they're all they have. Just them, because no one likes them, because they're from that side of the tracks and they're greasers. They seem to be the only greasers in town.
Mm-hmm. Until the big fight.
Mm-hmm. Until they assemble.
They suddenly all show up.
It's like those rabbits. But they sleep in the middle of a lot. Mm-hmm. Oh no, doesn't Ponyboy leave? Yeah. He's like, it's cold out here, Johnny. I'm going home.
I'm going to my house with my bed.
And my brother, who I share it with. That brother, by the way, is Rob Lowe, famous star who had a sex tape.
What if there's 3 beds in the house and sort of he just gets lonely?
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Patrick Swayze takes up 2 of them. They're just like queen-size beds that he just shoves together. He's like, no, you guys can have the twin.
The single bunk bed.
Single bunk. It just had a bunch of springs on the top, like the chair in the church. Mm-hmm. But that's where isn't that where Ponyboy sees the train? Play the train clip.
Ponyboy. Yeah. Was it? Yeah. I think so. Oh no. First it plays like that like silhouetted scene where the mom and dad are with the little dog.
Yeah, the scene from Toy Story 2 with Jessie.
Yeah. Play that clip.
It was beautiful.
Oh god, I'm playing so many clips, man. I'm doing so much more editing. But they sleep it off. Mm-hmm. And what happens the next day? Is that what do they do? Do they go
next
to
day? Isn't that when?
would you like to explain, or you can take a drink?
Sure.
I'll just leave this here. So, Ponyboy is an idiot, is what I'm gonna say. Before we get into the big storyline of this scene, do they go to the fountain before or after they go to Chick-fil-A? That's after, right? Yeah, that's after, because he talks to the guy in the car. Never mind. I don't know what I'm saying.
That was after. Like, that
was way after.
That's after. Yeah, shit, how did that... Wasn't it the same night? No, because I do remember him sleeping.
Maybe I'm getting... Maybe he sleeps with his brother first.
Whoa.
What?
It's okay, it's the
This
60s.
is Texan, Mexico.
You're thinking of Alabama.
Well, maybe. We don't know where the fuck this movie is. Peoria?
Pretoria.
Utopia? Everything goes back to Family Guy. The greatest show in history.
Until you get to season 6. That's when it all goes downhill.
Oh, it is?
Like SpongeBob.
I thought that was bad after, like, the 3rd season.
No, it was like the movie, and then it went downhill.
Were you disappointed by the Super Bowl this year?
Oh, yeah.
The halftime show?
Yeah. I love the memes, though. You used me for sicko mode.
I never heard that song before, and I never want to hear it again.
I was almost starting to like it, because it would play on the radio.
Gross. That's how they get you.
But then now it's just full of bad memories.
What'd you think of the another topless man scene? The Super Bowl.
Oh, Adam Levine
Yeah, when he was stripping.
didn't do it for me. I was just so betrayed.
I got so excited when I saw the SpongeBob clip. And I was like, what is that
it was
green
like
thing?
new animation, so I thought they were gonna like animate the whole thing, but no.
The NFL could have easily bought the rights to that song. They probably could have bought the entirety of SpongeBob.
Yeah, they must have had the rights to the song because they played it a little bit.
Or maybe
so...
Nickelodeon spent like $50 billion for 10 seconds.
Billion.
Oh, I can't wait to watch Goldmember. Because that's a Tom Cruise movie.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, back to this Tom Cruise movie, The Outsiders. Let's just skip a bunch of stuff and get right to the meat.
The juicy bit.
Yeah, the good juicy bit. It's like you get a good hamburger with a bunch of crap on it and you just take everything off except for the patty.
Or how Ponyboy threw that away.
He would never throw food away. He'd scarf it down no matter how big of a mess he made. Because he doesn't know how to eat.
Savage.
So, you want to explain what happens when Johnny and Ponyboy go on a walk and talk about their feelings and how much they want to escape wherever they live?
Oh, right. That's how it happens. So, alright. So, Ponyboy and his brothers are eating.
You keep doing that. I'm going
Sure.
get up real quick.
And so, they get into an argument, which leads Ponyboy to, like, just run out. And for some reason, take Johnny with him. And just start running away from his home. And they decide to take a walk, and that's when, for some reason,
the socias who have been stalking them.
Yeah, they just show up to the park they're at and start, what was it? I guess you could say bullying them, or what's the other word?
Harassing, I guess?
There we go. Thank you.
What did they do? So, they sort of just trail along behind them.
Mm-hmm.
Do they have their headlights on?
Yes.
Yeah, so they should
That's
have
how
easily noticed that there was
Yeah.
a car. Also, it's
It's the same car.
the 60s, 50s? IMDb says it takes place in 67. I don't believe that. But,
Yeah.
you could have easily heard that loud-ass engine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they just drive up the grass to where Johnny and Ponyboy are hanging out in a jungle gym.
Mm-hmm. And instead of running, they try to talk them.
There's no way they could have run away. You've seen how they run.
True.
They got those baby knees.
It's all that grease.
Yeah, it's...
That's our excuse for everything. Like when parents say it's because of the damn phone.
That grease is ruining our youth.
Alright, so then...
They climb down and like, hey, fellas.
What you want?
Fancy meeting you here at the park so late in the night.
What's with those knives?
Why'd you pull your car all the way up here?
Parking lot's over there.
Who attacks first? Why do they attack?
The Socias do. They get
They
knock Johnny down.
Oh yeah, let me preface this by saying that the Socias, even more drunk than they were.
Oh
already.
right. Yeah.
Anyway, back to the fight.
Mm-hmm. So the Socias knock Johnny down, tell him to stay down.
Yeah, because they want Ponyboy because he tried to steal his girl.
Mm-hmm. And they start. Was it like water torture?
They start like waterboarding Ponyboy because conveniently there's a nearby fountain that we
didn't see.
Never saw before. Where is it in relation to the jungle gym? Who knows? There's no spatial awareness or description of any kind in this park.
They have like those what's that one mode in like Minecraft where you can just like make anything?
Like creator?
Yeah, creator mode.
They're just like, I need a fountain to drown this kid right now. You, 40-year-old high school student, make it. But they drag Ponyboy over to a fountain. They start drowning him and shoving his head in the water.
Mm-hmm.
Then he blacks out.
And that's when Johnny's inner bloodlust awakens.
Yep, it's when the demon that has been brewing and festering in him for all those... How old is he?
16 years.
16 years. Comes out. Is released from its prison.
Yep, and some dude named Bob bites it because he gets stabbed. A lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of blood.
Yeah, there's so much blood. Like...
The fountain is red.
Mm-hmm. The fountain has been just ruined and diluted with blood. Ponyboy wakes up all wet and covered in blood.
Mm-hmm.
The cement sidewalk around the fountain is flooded with blood. A corpse lies strewn with blood. And then we see Johnny just sitting there with a knife, looking at it. I wish I could do it again. We suspect he really liked it.
Mm-hmm.
I suspect he was playing the I didn't want to do it card. Like he was playing the insanity card.
Like with David.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But Ponyboy wakes up and he's like, I'm gonna be sick, and he like spits up a little bit. Not the reaction I think anybody would have to seeing your best friend sitting over a corpse with a bloody knife.
After he saved your life.
Mm-hmm. Well, he doesn't know that.
He didn't thank him.
No, he never did.
No, he didn't.
Ponyboy just always thinks about himself. Just the center of the universe, that guy. He just, oh, me. Everything's about me. My best friend Johnny killed a man. Oh, boy. I hope I don't get in trouble.
It looks yucky, so I want to throw up.
What do they say? They're like trying to figure out what to do at the park.
Yeah.
And then Johnny starts trying to clean the gun off with dirt for some reason.
The gun?
Or the knife.
Johnny would never use a gun
Never.
to kill someone.
It's too easy. They don't hurt when you use a gun. It's too quick. Like you said earlier, he really likes to get in there.
Yeah. How long do you think Bob was alive for? Do you think he like made him suffer?
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I feel like
His eyes were still open.
he stabbed him probably in the back.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And then they all immediately let go of Ponyboy, who was already unconscious. Let's see. Everybody scattered. Bob fell back in terror that he just got stabbed in the back. And then Johnny pulled Ponyboy out of the fountain and then just went to town on him. On Bob.
Bob.
He made him suffer. We don't get a good glimpse at his body, so... but by the amount of blood... Woo, boy!
There's gotta be at least like 10 holes in there.
Counting ones you already had?
No. 12 then. 13 technically?
Try 40.
Oh my.
So then they try and figure out what to do, and they're panicking, and Ponyboy's like, I've never killed a man before, and Johnny's like, you never have. Why are you freaking out so much? I'm the one who should be freaking out.
I'm the one holding the bloody knife.
So they go to the one, the only, the photo developing place.
That's slash bar.
Slash bar. Slash house that people
Slash,
party in.
Brothel.
Slash dog hotel.
That's a cute dog.
Yeah, there's just a party dog
Mm-hmm.
in this weird bar house building that they find Dallas at, shirtless. For some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Also, does he live there? Is that a hotel?
He had like clothes and stuff.
Yeah,
in
he had
there.
like a dresser and a bedroom and everything.
Yeah.
Maybe that wasn't his clothes. Maybe that was just a party, and he was like, "Come on, let's go up here and steal some stuff." He's like, "I know one of you just killed a man, but there's always time for theft."
Mm-hmm.
But he gives them. What does he do? You want to check your notes, make sure we're not missing anything?
Yeah.
We haven't consulted the notes because I don't have any for the first time.
Let's see. Journalist. Oh shit! Someone's getting stabbed. Cute doggo.
Yeah.
Dallas being helpful. Wow. So we're at that.
Was he very helpful?
I mean, he kept Johnny out of jail for a while.
For 4 days.
Yeah.
5. Yeah.
And he gave him money, $50.
Yeah, $50 in 1950
60.
to 69.
How much would that be in inflation?
$12.
Yeah, honestly, I believe that. Let's see. He bought like bread,
Guns.
a
Peanut butter.
week's worth of bologna, however much that is, which is like just
A week's worth. Duh.
2 stacks of bologna.
Some like cheese crackers.
Yeah, and peroxide. And chloroform.
Yeah, and hair dye.
Yeah, that's what the peroxide was.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
I thought he just went to a beauty shop. But fuck, what is his name? Dallas. There you go. I was about to say Johnny again. Dallas is like, we got to get you little fellas out of here. Even though Ponyboy, you didn't really do anything, but I guess you should go too.
Yeah.
Because we need a movie. So he tells them to hop aboard a train.
3:15 to
Wixus. Good old Wixus. That's true, Winksville.
Where the winks are, you know.
You can buy Winks by the pound.
Oh, I meant the show. You remember that? The Winks?
The Winks?
That, like, 4Kids show about, like, fairies? You
What?
remember that?
No.
It was always on Saturday.
On what channel?
4Kids TV. You know, Yu-Gi-Oh!
Oh. I wasn't a nerd. I watched Hannah Montana. But yeah, it's like
Wix. There's an R in there.
it's like WIOUXXR
Triple X.
The Return of Xander Cage.
Yeah, he tells him to go there.
Yeah, and when they get there, wherever there is, to find an abandoned church.
Yes.
And
buy a week's worth of food.
Yeah, and then he'll come and get them when the heat's died down, which it probably won't because they murdered a man. So they hop aboard a train in the middle of the night, make their way to the wilderness somewhere, hop off in the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm. How do
Smart.
they even know where to stop?
Who fucking knows? They meet 2 construction workers who really want to be in the Village People.
That's very fancy way he wore that.
Yeah, the ascot bandana.
What, do you think they jumped off the train, off the moving train?
Yes.
And then
That's why they
Ponyboy-
couldn't walk. That's why Johnny had the walking stick.
Pony landed on him. It's because he got flashbacks for his parents. He just freaked
He's like,
out.
I gotta get off of here. I'm gonna kill my parents. But they ask the miners or the whatever. What do they ask? They're like, hey, we're looking for an abandoned church to hide out in. You know where one is?
I think he asked for Jonah Hill or something like that.
Jonah.
There's a J.
Hey, you know where we can meet Jonah Hill?
Oh my god.
We really want to get his autograph. I love that kid in Superbad.
He's like, who? Oh, sorry, he's not born yet. They're time travelers now.
Now. They've always been.
Oh shit, yeah.
That's how he saw his parents die. He was trying to go back in time to stop it, but he just made it worse.
Originally, they only lost their legs. It's like what's that movie?
Like
Flashpoint.
Flashpoint.
With the Flash where he goes back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you
Yeah,
meant
no.
the DC one. I was gonna say Butterfly Effect.
Basically, that's
But yeah,
what it is.
Flashpoint's also a good one. Tries to go back in
God,
time.
Aquaman looks so ugly in that movie.
They all look ugly. All the
Yeah.
guys in that film look ugly because
They
they've
look
used
like they're on steroids.
they've used that same terrible art style for the past probably about 8 or so
The
years.
only one who looked nice was like Mara.
I mean, Mara always looks nice.
Yeah, true.
She's a bae to a fish. That's BAE. Thank you.
What were we talking about? Oh, right.
The train. No. Them finding Jonah Hill. We're on a pilgrimage to meet Jonah Hill. Can you two miners help us?
Whoa.
Hey miners, we're a pair of miners. But the miners are like, yeah, it's right over that hill right there. Watch out, because there's often field trips of school children that like to visit the abandoned church. But yeah, they find the abandoned church. They stay there with their owl companion and rats.
They're familiars.
And they sleep on the hardwood floor. And I think he has another flashback to the train scene.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's it.
it's like I could have stopped it if I only had more time. The time machine broke. Too much grease.
Got too greasy. The button was slippery.
He trapped him in 19. But how long are they there before he
4 days.
before he goes and buys food? So
I
they
think
fall
it's
asleep at night, and I think he leaves like the next morning. And
Yeah,
writes
yeah.
Johnny writes a little message for Ponyboy in the dirt. He's like, "I'll be back soon."
P.S. I love you.
Yeah, PSS, love you lots. Adrian goes like a little emoji.
XOXO. Before they're even... they are time travelers.
He draws a kissing emoji in the dirt.
Leaves his WhatsApp username.
His kick. But what does Ponyboy do? He goes
just-
out to the well.
Yeah, he tries to like get water. And then he hides because he thinks the cops are here.
Yeah. What does he hear? Does he hear people coming? I thought... Oh, no, I'm thinking of a later scene. He has really good hearing. It's all that grease. But he hears... Yeah, and then he hides in, like, the basement of the church or whatever
Yeah,
that
the
is.
storm cellar.
Yeah, I guess so.
With no doors.
Yeah, and seemingly no floor either. It's a very old church. It was a historical landmark until they got there.
Those damn children.
Those damn time-traveling kids. Don't you just hate a pair of time-traveling greasers? But, yeah, and then he shows off all that he's bought, all the guns.
Yeah, Doc is a pretty greasy guy.
Can you imagine Doc Brown with greasy hair?
Ew.
That's just the actor now.
Aw.
Andrew Lloyd Webber. That's not him. But anyway, they stay there a little bit and they eat some sandwiches, some bologna sandwiches, and peanut butter. And then
Oh yeah, peanut butter.
they have a makeover.
It should have been like a montage.
Oh my god, that would have been amazing.
Like really
I
cheery
really
music.
want to like re-edit the film to be like a montage, like a buddy comedy road trip film.
And then turns into psychological horror at the end.
What's your next note?
Soundtrack gives me Fallout vibes. I think it's because when it was playing Blue Moon.
Oh yeah, this film has a very odd soundtrack. Like, it's just so. There's a TV tropes. There's a trope called soundtrack dishonest. I just had a stroke.
It's all that grease in your mouth.
Also, instead of buying a pair of scissors, he just decides to use the knife he used to murder a man to yank off their hair.
It's for Pony's protection, because then he would have two scissors, like I said earlier.
And if he had more than one
Two
blade,
knives.
oh my god, he would have he wouldn't be able to handle the demon.
Yeah, the demon
The
that
urge to
can
murder.
dual wield.
And then they have a makeover and they dye Ponyboy's hair blonde.
They die. Spoilers.
Not yet.
Yeah, Pony has to dye his hair blonde. I don't know why.
Even though he didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Johnny's like, we're on the run now, Ponyboy. Maybe it was a prank. He was like,
Maybe he
I
likes
wonder if I could get
blondes."
Ponyboy to dye his hair. He likes blonde.
He's like, also you have to wear this dress and these high heels with fishnets.
Stuff these oranges in your shirt.
Oh no. Not melons. He likes A-cups.
He's like, here, I bought this workout book for squats. Also, should mention that Johnny is played by M. Night Shyamalan in his first ever feature film role. Quite the movie. Star-studded cast. And then what do? They just sort of live there for a few days?
They
cuddle
they
up?
live there and they cry. And
Yeah,
then
they cry like little pussies.
So much crying.
And Ponyboy...
And then you see a little raccoon.
Yeah, that's right. We see a raccoon, and Ponyboy's like, Johnny, there's a monster outside. Because Johnny asked him to start talking like that.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, can you speak a little more feminine? Here's a French maid's outfit. Clean this church up. Puts on a wife beater.
It was Dallas's.
What, the French maid outfit?
No, the wife beater.
And they stay there until one day they hear a car pulling up.
I thought it was the police.
Me too. Whoop, whoop. That's the sound of the police. Whoop, whoop. That's the sound of the beast. Stand clear. Stand where I stand. You can't walk where I walk. Watch out. We run New York when the policeman
Do you
comes.
want copyright strikes?
Oh, fuck, you're right. So what happened? Yeah, and then Dallas shows up. And he's like, I've come to rescue you. Let's go get burgers.
Yeah.
Make sure you turn the stove off. And Johnny's like, yeah, sure, whatever. I know. But they go to this little diner and they get burgers that Ponyboy doesn't know how to eat because he acts like he hasn't eaten anything in like a month.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's only been 4 or 5 days and they got plenty of bologna. What did they talk about? They just talk about like trying to get back into town.
Yeah, and how Sherry offered to testify for them.
Oh yeah, that's right. Cherry.
Mm-hmm.
Cherry Valance.
That's
Cherry Valance.
Cherry's her mother's name.
Oh. What? But anyway, and then they drive back to the church to get their belongings of
Why do they
a
go
copy
back
of Gone with the Wind.
and cigarettes.
Yeah, that's why they went back.
Mm-hmm.
And the guns. All the guns that Johnny stole and bought.
Mm-hmm. But
Yeah, bought. There's a spree of murders those 4 days in Worcester town, USA. Yeah, and you want to tell them what happens when they pull up, what they see when they pull up to this open field in an abandoned church where no children should be?
there's a school bus, and the church has a little bit of a fire problem. Little bit.
There was also kids in the church, by the way. For some reason, it was the 50s or 60s. People didn't know to look for kids, to look out for kids. They're just like, go do whatever, you lock and key.
I wonder if the book says who started it.
I assume it was just the stove that they have.
I think it was cigarettes, because remember when
Oh, those little
Ponyboy
kids were smoking. Those little kids found their stash of cigarettes.
Ponyboy was to Johnny, he was like, hey, watch it with those cigarettes. And he's like, yeah.
Puts it next to a big tank of gas. Don't tell me what to do. And yeah, for some fucking reason, there's just a school bus field trip with kids and a fat old principal who was trying to murder them all.
Does not care to help them.
Hey, he
just
doesn't get
watching.
paid by how many kids he teaches.
He couldn't fit through the door.
Okay. But yeah, for some reason there's like 3 or 4 kids that are hiding out in the church, probably hiding from the principal teacher.
From the cops.
They also killed a man. Those kids were completely unrelated to the field trip. That was a search party. Those were midgets.
That's why she bit Ponyhead. She's like, no, I don't want to go.
You're not gonna take me alive, copper. And they're little people, so everybody looks like an adult.
Exactly.
But yeah, Ponyboy is the first one to rush to the burning building.
I keep wanting to call him Ponyhead.
I just call him Ponyhead. If his hair was longer, he'd have a ponytail.
Oh, shit. You're right.
You didn't think about that, did you? But
Oh, they should have given him a blonde mohawk.
what?
You know.
Oh, like a mane?
Yeah.
But yeah, Johnny and Ponyboy, led by Ponyboy, because he's the goddamn hero of this film. I don't like him.
He finally gets to be the protagonist.
He finally gets to do something, and it ruins everyone's life even more. He's
Especially the kids.
Oh yeah.
They wanted to die.
Oh yeah.
They set the
I'd
church
rather
on
die than be captured. But they pull boards down, even though they could have easily just gone to the other side of the church where the children were hiding.
Yeah,
Because that's what Dallas does.
They already ripped another window open.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
They wasted time.
That's true. I forgot about that. Because when they first arrive at the church, they find the windows all boarded up. The front door is probably unlocked. But they rip off the boards of this window, and then later they rip off another boards.
They are vampires because they have to be invited in.
Oh my god!
Oh shit!
They asked the boards, or the kids, like, "Hey, can we come in?"
No.
Thanks. It doesn't matter. We're time travelers.
They invited themselves already in the past.
They left a little note on the porch, like saying, "You can come in." Me. But they save the kids. Hooray! At a grave cost. Train scene. Do you want to tell the listeners what that grave cost was, Saul?
So for some reason, Johnny keeps staying inside the burning building, even though the kids are already out. And on his way out through another exit, for some reason, again, this is all very convenient.
It's like, I'll go back this way.
It's safer. He gets rammed by a burning pillar.
Like a beam of wood that just falls from the ceiling.
Right on his back. Right on his spine.
I thought it was his chest. His back looked pretty fine.
Did it, though?
I guess. He had a bit of a sunburn. Did I tell you about my tanning salon escapade? So I went and got a tan for the first time, like a tanning booth tan.
Like a spray tan?
No, like
or
the
like
UV
machine
lights. Thing? Where you like stand in there with like the cool little like Doc Ock goggles.
Oh yeah. Just the goggles.
Just the goggles. Just like Rob Lowe and his sex tape.
Oh my god.
But yeah, that was my first tanning experience.
How long ago was that?
It was probably 3 weeks ago, maybe.
How did that go?
Worst experience I've ever had. First time ever going there. I'm a very pale man. The woman told me to go in for 5 minutes. Way too much.
You fell asleep?
I fell asleep standing up.
You fall asleep and then you wake up and like, do I smell bacon?
Is that bologna?
Oh yeah.
Is Johnny here? But when I got out, everything seemed pretty fine. Later that day, I was very red, like that comforter on my bed, which is about lobster red. The next day was horrible. There's this thing called the devil's itch, which is like when you get a really bad sunburn and like, I don't know, I may be hyperpolating.
Uh-huh.
I may be exaggerating. But it felt like my nerve endings were just crazy, and I couldn't scratch it, and I was going insane, and nothing would help. I kept putting cream on my back every, like, few hours because I could barely move and lift my arms. I was like John McCain. I couldn't lift my arms over my head.
So you went for the cream, but you accidentally got butter. Did it?
Worse. I felt like Johnny in this film because I couldn't lay on my back.
Oh.
I was laughing just maniacally because it was a coping mechanism to deal with the pain.
Which I think it's like one of the Batman movies where Joker kidnaps is it Tim Drake or is it?
I think it is. Yeah, the Return of the Joker one.
Yeah. And then when he kills him, he's like just laughing. Oh.
That was me. That was me trying to get over the pain.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was my tanning experience.
Nice.
My back peeled for about a week.
Oh.
It was pretty fun. Peeling off giant pieces of skin. I was like a human snake.
So why did you do that? You just wanted to see what it was like to...
Yeah, get a tan. I was offered a free tan.
Oh,
so I was
cool.
like, okay, I'll try this. This seems like a good deal. Maybe I'll get some shade on my skin. Maybe I'll...
They weren't sure if the machine was working right, so they offered you.
They just got new bulbs installed, actually. Oh, God. Worst experience of my life. God, it was terrible. Anyway, back to the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm saying is I can empathize with Johnny.
Yeah.
I know the pain he was feeling after getting... He got third-degree burns. I got a terrible burn on my back.
Mm-hmm.
Really hurt. I couldn't move. I didn't dig him.
He couldn't move either.
No, he definitely could not move. Especially since the hospital amputated both his legs and then propped pillows up to make it look like he still had them. What were we talking about?
The fire.
Yeah, the fire. And then it just like, it smash cuts to a hospital, to an ambulance driving away.
Yeah, and then that's when Ponyboy sees his brothers, and it turns out that Derry does care about him. That's his name, right? Derry?
Yeah, Patrick Swayze's character, who was in this a lot less than I remember. I think I just really like Patrick Swayze, so I was like, he's in that movie a lot.
Yeah.
I was like, those are the good scenes. Because as you said earlier...
that he's handsome, or...
I mean, that too, but what the fuck is the guy's name? C. Thomas Howell, who I believe plays Ponyboy, is an alright actor.
Yeah.
He's not good with emotion.
No, not at all.
Come on, let's be honest. You don't need emotion in The Outsiders.
Yeah, emotion makes you weak.
Yeah, exactly. Especially if you're a greaser. You need grease. And boy, did he. That's why he got casted.
Yeah.
He just came in and he was all dirty and greasy and smelling. And you're like, you're it.
They're like, wow, you really dressed up for the part. Like, what
Dressed?
do you mean? What do you mean?
What is this movie about? I haven't read the script yet. Yeah, so they're at a hospital. What happens to Dallas? How does he get... What happened to him? He has, like, arm caught on fire or something?
I thought he broke his arm, but he shows up in the fight later, so he's probably fine. I guess he just got mildly burned.
He got worried. He got scared. Because there is the scene where his sleeve catches on fire, but Ponyboy quickly puts it out.
Mm-hmm. Oh, right. Yeah. I forgot about that.
But he still gets admitted to a hospital, even though he's clearly fine.
Yeah.
He's taking away people who could help Johnny.
He just wanted free drugs.
Oh my god, he did! And then Johnny is... Or not Johnny. Ponyboy's... Yeah, he's reunited with his brothers.
Mm-hmm.
They go home. Then what happens?
Wait, why is it like we just saw it? For some reason, it's all a
What's your
blur.
next? Let's see.
Let's see, we're like around here.
Tobey Maguire.
Yeah, because remember...
Oh, yeah, that's right. He reminds you of Tobey
Is
Maguire.
the church gonna catch fire? Yes. Ooh.
Oof, Johnny.
That's when we saw him.
Dallas hurt... What? What is
His
it?
hand?
Oh.
Oh, right, that's when that was. Paul looks 30. Right, that's
right.
That's a little ahead.
So, wait, there's the cake scene. That's what happens.
Yeah.
So, Ponyboy, still can't remember their names.
Mm-hmm.
Ponyboy, he's back at home. He's living up life with his charred face and his dirty blonde hair. and his brothers are like, you look weird. And then all of their greaser buddies come over, including Tom Cruise, who loves himself a handful of chocolate cake and a bottle of beer. As does Two-Bit. He loves to sit down and watch cartoons and drink some beer and eat some cake. Don't you?
Yeah, who doesn't?
Exactly. But, what happens? They're just
So first... It's like they see that in the newspapers they're calling Pony, Johnny, and Dallas heroes because they saved those little people.
Right. Yeah. Although the word midget is in this film. It's
Really?
on the oh no, it isn't. That was a joke I made.
I was gonna say. Shit, what happens after? We literally just saw
I
it.
know. The newspaper's hailing them as heroes.
And then they go show...
That's right, yeah, and then they go to see Johnny at the hospital.
Yeah, and that's when his
Oh, yeah.
demon mom shows up.
Yeah, because Tom Cruise comes over to the house with the newspaper tucked down his pants. And then everybody goes off to work, and then Two-Bit and Johnny go and get burgers? Do they do that before or after they visit Johnny?
Before.
Yeah, it's before.
Yeah, because they're like looking... They want to hitch a ride from somewhere.
Yeah, that's right. They're trying to hitch a ride, and then they go to a burger stand, and they talk to some more 30-year-old socias.
And
that seems kind of pointless.
Yeah, except for like Pony...
Not really, because of course it sets up the rumble, I guess.
Yeah, because Pony goes to talk to... What?
Gary?
Gary? Is that his name?
I don't know.
He looks like a Gary.
Yeah, let's just call him Gary.
I think his name is Randy. Yeah, that's his
That was
name.
close. It had an R.
And Randy.
And a Y.
Mm-hmm.
And an A. I can spell.
He like talks to Pony. What did he talk about? He kind of like he's like sympathetic.
Yeah, he's like, hey, I know how it feels to have somebody die because your friend killed my best friend. But I don't hold it against you because again, you didn't do anything.
Exactly.
We attacked you. And then he's like, see you tonight at the Rumble. Bye.
Got a lot of pent up rage. I'll be looking out for you.
Yeah, and then they go to the hospital.
Yeah.
And they meet Johnny and they try to talk to him and they try to cheer him up. And Johnny says that 16 is way too young to die. Which is true, relatively.
Yeah. I guess.
And they're like, geez, what's with him being such a sad sack? And then they leave and go to the hall and his shitty mom's there.
Yeah.
Not really much comes of that other than you see how shitty his life was.
Yeah.
Maybe it's good that he's dead.
Spoilers.
I'm happy he died.
Maybe he is too.
Yeah, that's yeah. I'm telling you, he was playing dumb.
A ghost next to Pony now.
And Patrick Swayze.
And
a time-traveling greaser ghost.
Then that's when they go get what's his face? Right?
Don't they go back to Ponyboy's house and they tell everybody that Johnny's dead?
No.
Oh no, they go to Dallas.
Yeah, they go
Dallas's
to Dallas
room, who is perfectly fine. He's just chilling in his hospital bed, high on drugs.
In his undies. Everyone uses tidy whities in these movies.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was the 50s or 60s.
Mm-hmm.
Boxer briefs hadn't been invented. The thong wasn't a thing yet, Saul.
Sorry.
I wish you would stop pushing your thong agenda on this show. It's too much. I have to edit it out every time.
Sorry, I'll tone it down.
Thank you.
And then he asked for a Pony's knife.
Oh yeah, and then he stabs something.
Just so he can stab a pillow.
Yeah, he has pent-up rage. He stabs the bed.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna cost the hospital.
It's okay.
Did they tell him that Johnny died?
No, because that hadn't happened
How
yet.
the fuck does he find out?
That hadn't happened yet, remember?
Oh, it hadn't?
Because he dies after the
Oh,
fight.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Spoilers.
Yeah, spoiler.
It's okay.
Then they go back to the house.
Yeah.
And they all regroup, and they talk about the Rumble,
their strategy.
Yeah, and then Tom Cruise is like, I want to fight somebody.
Mhm.
Somebody stop me.
I love his energy in these movies.
Yeah, oh my, he's so fucking energetic. And he is down to do any role. A crazy kid who lights fires. A crazy kid who wants to kill people. A crazy kid who wants to fight people.
Mm-hmm.
So diverse. Yeah, and then they go train scene. Then they go to the Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
And they do some sweet gymnastics, which, as we said earlier, Tom Cruise and Patrick Swayze actually did. I feel like Tom Cruise's wasn't as good as Patrick Swayze's. They weren't as impressive. Like, what do you think? Which one? Who would you give a higher score to? Patrick Swayze or Tom Cruise?
Patrick.
You're
definitely.
a Russian Olympic judge.
Russian. Okay. I was gonna do an accent, but I'm bad at accents.
Do it.
I would give it to Patrick because that was cool. Like
Yeah.
that was like legit.
He does like a fucking handstand on top of a chain link fence.
Yeah.
Like whatever that gymnast move
And then
is.
Tom Cruise just like does
Does
do a
another
backflip.
backflip. That's all he can do. He can only do backflips off of car hoods. And Patrick Swayze slaps him on the ass.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just run down the street to the park where they find all the greasers in the world.
Which is like 10.
Yeah.
They're a dying race.
They are. They're going extinct in the 50s or 60s,
Mhm.
whenever this takes place. And like they're just partying and getting drunk. And then you hear like thunder or something, and then the Socs roll up in their convoy.
That's the word I was gonna use too. Their convoy of socialites.
Yeah, just socialite cars, fancy shiny cars.
One has a searchlight on it.
Mm-hmm, for some reason, and they aren't pointing at the right direction.
Mm-mm.
Probably because they blind the camera. And then they all get out, and they're led by 34-year-old man named what's his name? Paul?
Paul, yeah.
Paulie?
Paul Ryan.
Who, as I suspect, is just the opposite version of Patrick Swayze.
Yeah.
So that means that...
Because they used to be buddies, right?
Were they?
Yeah, they're like, I think someone asked about who he was, and he's like, oh, they used to be friends. They used to play football together.
Oh,
Something like that.
I like to imagine that there's a just socialite versions of like Johnny and Ponyboy
Like,
and Tom Cruise.
What's that other Bizarro
Yeah.
Superman?
Or like the evil Star Trek universe where they all have goatees. But yeah, then the rain starts coming suddenly and hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's very clearly an intern on a ladder with a hose, and like they just put their finger over like the nozzle to make it spray. Everybody knows what that is. Everybody's done it. And they're just like doing that over the camera while people fight in the mud.
They did a rain dance. That was the party. That was just
That's what it was.
It was just a big old rain dance.
They were trying to summon rain to help them in the fight, which it did.
Yeah, because
Because socialites aren't good in mud.
they weren't affected by it because they're so greasy.
Oh, it's true. It just went right. They're like ducks.
Ducks are greasy?
They're waterproof.
Oh, that's cool.
I think, yeah.
I didn't know that.
But yeah, and Tom Cruise is going nuts.
Oh yeah.
What is his name?
In the movie,
Yeah.
It's not David, right?
No, that was his name in
Endless Love.
And Wallace was his name in Taps.
Let's see.
You gonna look it up?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so they're
What's the
fighting.
movie? Oh right, The Outsiders.
You can see how much we like this movie.
Mm-hmm. I actually did like it. It's
Yeah.
just I'm very forgetful,
Yeah.
especially because everyone looks the same.
Yeah, they're all dressed the same. They're all the same hair.
They're all just very handsome guys.
They're all white guys except for Johnny.
Let's see.
What is it?
Just trying to find the Wikipedia. Damn, I should have typed it first.
Just
Oh, there we
search
go.
Outsiders Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
You got this? I don't know what to say. Vamping. So they're fighting, and Tom Cruise is going nuts in the mud, and he's throwing people over his head. Steve?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, that's his name. But
Steve.
they always use a nickname, I'm pretty sure, for him, which I...
Psycho killer. Tom Cruise is the original Ghostface killer. Yeah, and then they fight, and the socialites are like, we're getting our asses kicked! Retreat!
Mhm.
And they run away in the mud, and that's the end of that storyline.
Yeah. that was it. They just ran off.
Yeah.
I was really sure someone was gonna like bite the dust.
Again?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, technically you were correct.
Oh, yeah. So
how and when does Johnny die?
Dallas takes Ponyboy to the hospital because he got his shit wrecked.
Oh, it's right. Because Dallas broke out of the hospital, seemingly, came to the fight, and he was like, I gotta get back before the nurse notices.
Man, Pony's so weak.
Yeah, I assume Ponyboy just got trampled. Oh, no, you said he fought the biggest guy there.
Yeah, he like
he was like, prison rules, bitch, and he gets slammed in the face. And then they get stopped by a cop, and Dallas is like, this is my pregnant wife. Give us a ride. Give us a police escort. And so he does. And they get a police escort to the hospital.
Quick, Pony, act like you're giving birth.
Do you still have that dress Johnny bought you? And once they arrive at the hospital, they sneak into Johnny's room, and he dies. He says the famous line, Rosebud.
I thought you were gonna say Roadhouse.
That would have been funnier. I made a Citizen Kane reference. I should have made a Roadhouse reference. But no, he says the famous line.
No, wait. I see dead people.
And then Patrick Swayze's in the background. And he's like molding clay.
Oh no.
But he says the famous line, we're gonna need a bigger boat.
I'm pretty sure you have to know the line.
Yeah, you gotta know the line. Let's not say it at all. So he says his famous line, and then he's like, bleh, bleh, and then I am dead. He's like a Shakespearean character who dies. For so I am vanquished.
They're just standing there like,
what the fuck? That heat must have boiled his brain.
like a crab.
Yeah. Hey, that's offensive. Excuse you, sir. That's too close to home.
Oh, sorry.
You boil lobsters.
Was your pet lobster boiled?
Yes.
Did it taste good at least?
No. It's disgusting.
He's too old.
There's a cockroach on the sea.
Ew. Oh, you don't like seafood?
That's alright. I want to try some sushi. I haven't tried a whole lot of that. The only sushi I've really tried is from like shitty buffets.
Yeah. I love sushi, honestly. Do they have a fries here in town? Is it like just?
It's not like the one out there.
Oh, okay, because I was gonna say like they have pretty good sushi. Like,
all the fries food is very good.
Yeah,
I really enjoy their Chinese food. They have some good.
I guess it's because like it's pretty fresh. Because I always see the guy making it.
Yeah, they always like
not
switch
like
it out.
Walmart though.
What do you mean?
Yeah, the Walmart has sushi. What? I've never bought it, but it just looks so unappetizing. It looks like it's been there for months.
That's because it has.
Because no one buys it.
How
did we start talking about?
Something about a crab. But
oh yeah.
Anyway, No. I was about to say Jeremy. Johnny dies. Dallas loses his mind because, he was the closest character to Johnny.
Even though he's the one that told him to, like, stop flirting with Sherry.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah, I forgot about
Sherry.
He
looked pissed at him. Yeah. And now he loves him.
Yeah. He was very high. He's on painkillers still. He's like, I love you, man. But yeah, then they leave, and then Ponyboy tells the fam about Johnny's death. Meanwhile, Dallas goes and robs a store that sells Winks. 6-pack of Winks, one each eye.
It's a good deal.
Yeah, 3 for 3 left eye, 3 right eye. The clerk just winks at you. It's only $1. And he, for some reason, he's going through magazines and he tears some up, and then he puts a gun in the clerk's face. And then he runs away, and the clerk, like, pops off shots and hits him.
Yeah.
And then he runs to, like...
A laundromat?
I don't think it's a laundromat. It looked more like a hospital, like, loading area for laundry with a telephone in it. And he calls up, Derry, Patrick Swayze, their home line. And he's like, man, the cops are after me. I stuck up a joint, a store. I need some help quick. Meet me at the Pock. And
Now they're New York accents.
This takes place in Westchester, didn't you know?
I left my khakis at home, so you guys got to meet me at the park.
They bought the cat in the yard. That's more Boston.
He's like, "Are you okay? Why are you talking like that?" Sorry, I was shot.
Johnny really messed me up. I was shot. But Dallas runs down the street, chased by the cops.
Mm-hmm.
In the middle of the street, he doesn't even like try to run through an alley or hop yards.
No,
just
they're
straight.
all really dumb at getting chased.
They're all bad runners too. But he gets cornered. He still has a handgun in his hand. He gets cornered in the park, and he's like, "Come and get me, you fuckers!"
Yeah.
And he tries to shoot him, but he gets shot like 6 times, and then
Yeah.
somehow manages to crawl down the street
He
towards
just keeps getting up.
It's because he gets knocked down, but he gets up again, like Chumbawamba.
Okay.
It's a song.
Oh.
I get knocked down,
Oh,
but
right.
I get up again.
Yeah. I never knew the names of that song.
It's a dumb name. But the outsiders arrive. I guess that is what they're called. The title never comes up in the film.
No. I guess all along we were the outsiders.
So what are we? Some sort of outsiders squad?
1983.
And the outsiders run up and they see him die, and Tom Cruise is like shaking in his booties.
Mm-hmm.
And then nothing really happens. The police just sort of let him go.
Yeah, because Ponyboy just passes out.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. And then he wakes up back
Again,
at the...
he has to make it about
God,
him.
oh, everything's about him. Jesus, Ponyboy, grow up here. And then he wakes up and he's back at home with his brothers, and it seems like a happy ending, and then they get into an argument for some reason, and they run away, but they make up in a baseball field, and they frolic in a field some more in the middle of the night. All these scenes happen at night. Do you think they just couldn't get any permits?
I'm telling you, they're vampires. Except for Pony, he's a daywalker now. Because he was at school at
like
the
Blade.
end.
And then there's a court case about the murder.
Everyone was so sweaty.
So much sweat. Sherry's there.
Mm-hmm.
Cherry Sherry. She tells her story, and like they're let go because Ponyboy didn't do anything, and the murderer is dead.
Yeah.
So they're really
justice was served.
Yeah, and Ponyboy gets to live with his brother some more. Happy ending, and then later at high school because. Oh no, he goes to high school, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Because he says she's in his class or whatever. Ponyboy sees Sherry Cherry, and he tries to talk to her, but she's like, "No, thank you. I'm done with that plot," and then walks away. Useless. The one of 3 women in the film. The mother, Sherry,
Does the
Marsha.
nurse count?
I guess.
She had more lines than Marsha.
That's true. Yeah. And then it ends with Ponyboy going home and finding a note written by Johnny, addressed to both Ponyboy and Dallas, which if he would have found earlier, Dallas probably wouldn't have gone crazy and died. And too bad.
It's like...
Not that big of a loss.
It's kind of, like in Bridge to Terabithia.
I've never seen it. I don't know where you're going with
this. Never mind.
Yeah, and then it's like a voiceover of Johnny.
Johnny Boy.
Johnny Boy. Oh, Johnny Boy. Reading his note. And then, boom, it's over.
Yep.
Just like that.
Just like that.
Just like that. Just
Look at that peak.
That's going to be loud. Just like that, it ends.
Yeah.
It's kind of a downer ending.
Yeah, it really is.
This movie and Taps, both downers. How did Endless Love end? Oh, he gets sent to prison.
Goes to fucking jail.
Hey, at least they're still in love, maybe. Or unless that's a hallucination of her.
In the movie, yeah.
Alright, so I think that's done with the discussion. Let's go move to the afterthoughts. Of course, here at the Cruising Altitude podcast, we have a special rating system. Out of 21 teeth, how many teeth would you give this film?
18 and a half.
Okay. I would give it 18.
Oh. I slightly liked it more.
You had a bit more fun.
Yeah.
Here's what other websites rate this as. On IMDb, it has a 7.2. It has a 64% on the Rotten Tomatoes tomatometer.
Those guys are...
They're hacks.
Mm-hmm.
Not like us. We're film journalists.
We're unbiased.
41 on Metacritic, I assume out of 1,000.
Out of 42.
Oh, wow. And 3.5 stars out of 5 from Roger Ebert. Now, the Tom Cruise news, which I have hastily written down on a small piece of paper because up until 5 hours ago I didn't see any of it. There have been rumors, Saul, that Tom Cruise has been exhibiting arrogant behavior on the set of Top Gun 2.
How dare they?
I know.
Assume that.
Wait until you hear this. The Navy official, a Navy official, has said that Tom Cruise and the cast have been nothing but gracious and professional to all the sailors.
Uh-huh. Well, yeah.
Here's what was said by an anonymous sailor. Tom Cruise allegedly acted arrogant and told people not to look at or touch him.
That doesn't sound like my Tom.
No, that doesn't sound like Tom Cruise at all. I think it's someone trying to besmirch the good nature of that Scientologist who has been divorced 3 times.
I agree.
Other Tom Cruise news. Tom Cruise, Bryan Singer, who, do you know who that is?
I've heard the name.
He did the X-Men films. He's a pedophile and sexual abuser. Allegedly.
Jesus.
Allegedly.
And he,
Listen to that. Allegedly. I'm not saying he is. Allegedly. There's allegations. For the past, 20 years, there's been allegations.
Any, roles that I would probably know?
He's a director, mostly. He's done most of the X-Men films. He did the film Valkyrie, which is what I'm talking about right now. He did Bohemian Rhapsody, I think, recently. But anyway, Tom Cruise, Bryan Singer, and Christopher McQuarrie made the editor, composer, and executive producer of the, I think it's 2008, film Valkyrie, which is a Tom Cruise movie, cry.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, they made the editor, composer, and executive producer cry. Do you want to know what their names are?
Sure.
It's the same person.
Oh.
The same person was the editor, the composer, and the executive producer of one fucking film.
Jeez.
Apparently, he just had too little creative control due to micromanaging by all 3 of those people. Because as we established maybe earlier, I don't remember if it was recorded or not, Tom Cruise is really into movies and making things his own. Like Edward Norton, except less of a dick. Allegedly. But, I guess there was just too much bullshit going on, and the guy had a breakdown. Let's move on to some more fun stuff. This is a new thing that I forgot to do last episode and almost forgot to do this episode. The fan mail, which is just comments on the YouTube channel. Captain Assassin says, I can't remember the last time I saw this movie, referring to Taps, but you two talking about it did take me back to the first time I saw it, and with that came a whole lot of nostalgia. Seriously, great review / deep dive. Can't wait for the next episode of Cruising Altitude. Thanks, Captain Assassin. He's a good supporter of my channel. He's a good guy. Funny.
Does he also work out sometimes? And does he have short hair? And
He's not me. It's not me on an alternate account trying to make myself seem better. That'd be crazy. From Jacob Dominguez. The ending of this movie crushed me when I first watched it.
Which one?
That's in reference to Taps.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
And on the final Taps comment...
I love his username.
Oh yeah, Big Massive Beanbag. Big Massive Beanbag says, I don't know who Tom Cruise. So thank you again for all the lovely fan mail, and that brings us to the end of this podcast. And you can find us on iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, and PodBean. All of those, except for YouTube, you can find us at the Cruising Altitude Podcast. And on YouTube, you can find us at Smokey's Videos, which is my channel. You can also find comic book related videos, gaming videos. We have a gaming series called The Boy Detective in LA Noire. It's about an 8-year-old man-child who is a detective. You can also follow us on Twitter at The Cruising Podcast and at Smokey's Videos. Also, make sure to give Tom Cruise a good follow on Twitter at Tom Cruise. And you can find Saul's meme Instagram at Dio, that's DIO _ SAMA _ art. ART. Join us next month for the 1983 film Losing It. I was thinking about buying that on DVD. It's like $20. Not gonna do that.
It's okay.
We're gonna have to go to the library and rent a copy.
Pretty sure. Jeez, Tom had a busy year.
Yeah, he's
Because that this one was 1983 too.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure.
and Taps was 1981, both of them. So he took a year off in between. You needed that break.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the end of the podcast. You want to give our signature closing line, Saul?
Which is.
You know it by heart. Now, Saul, that I've given you time to think of a line, give us that famous outro of yours.
Bye.
Bye.